Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I have the good fortune to have an amazing repeat guest and longtime friend back, Ari Galper, the world's number one authority on selling without resistance, CEO of Unlock the Game, author of Trusted Authority, Unlock the Sales Game, my personal favorite lessons from Toby, the Unlock the Game coaching program and mindset program, the Trust Box. For those of you watching on video, you can see all of the visual aids I am holding up. Ari, thanks so much for coming back.
Great to be here, Seth. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. So it's been a few years since you've been on the show. What's been going on in the world of trust-based selling? How's everything been going?
Well, it's been a lot of shifts and changes the last few years. I've kind of deemed it the Trust Recession, which I think we're in right now on many levels from the top to the bottom. But I think we'll talk today about in terms of business selling and how trust has been a real obstacle to a lot of businesses growing. And we'll kind of unpack that if you like today.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. I love the term you use, the Trust Recession. What does that mean?
What it means is since COVID, what shifted is consumers and people who are buyers have shifted their thinking. They're now shopping you meaning those listening today who own a business. And we're now in a commoditized world where they can't distinguish you between being different over anybody else. So you're getting inbound leads coming in. They're shopping you. It's not like the old days where like, yeah, hi, let's get to know each other a little bit better. Let's see if we're a fit. It's more like, I get information. What can you do for me? And since that shifted, what's not shifted is how people sell. They're still trying to provide free information, give value, convince people, persuade people, but they're not building trust with people. And that's the divide. And so I figured out a way to close that gap and shift the thinking of the industry to shift from selling to trust building.
Okay, so tell us, for our folks who don't know who you are and who haven't listened to the previous episode that they should, of course, go find. What is the difference between selling and trust building? Okay,
so selling comes from the know, like, and trust model from the 80s, where you get to know somebody, they like you, you like them, relationships being built, then over time, they trust you to hire you. The challenge with that model is it takes a lot of time. We don't have time, right? We got to shorten the sales cycle because these new buyers out there who are already informed are shopping you and they're ready to make a decision with you if they can trust you. But if you attempt to elongate the process and play the game with them, it's over. They know the game. So the difference now is I figured something out called the one-call sale. We can compress a sales cycle down from multiple steps to one single conversation using a whole different mindset, more of a doctor-patient conversation versus selling yourself. That is a game changer for a lot of different industries. And actually, it's really effective if you're in a low volume, high margin model. If you're in that quadrant, this could change your life.
Okay, so you got my attention. I am super excited. We are low volume, high ticket offer, done for you services. I would love a one call sale. How do I do that?
Okay, so the one call sale, the way to define it, isn't necessarily a signed contract in the first meeting, obviously. But what it means is from the first meeting, they commit to your process and start onboarding to a next step with you, whether it might be discovery process or whatever you guys do. See, here's the difference. Usually in the first meeting, most people who sell low volume, high margin, they're trying to flex, educate, give value. Here's what we do. Well, we can definitely help you. Look at our clients. We try to sell ourselves, prove ourselves. Now, here's the thing. Value in itself has been commoditized. They can get what you do somewhere else. Well, all of us can, because we're in a commoditized world right now. So to attempt to convince them that somehow you're different is difficult because they can't prove your differentiation until after they're a client, not before they're a client. So the way you differentiate in the one-call sales, you think to yourself, okay, this meeting is not me trying to show them our value. This meeting is about, I'm the doctor, they're the patient. When they come to my office, I've got a process with them that's going to build trust with them based upon my ability to diagnose their problem. So I have my own language set that I created, Seth, and questions to ask. We'll go through today. They're not fact-finding questions, and they're not qualifying questions. They're trust-based questions that unpack the problem at such a deep level that the person says to themselves, man, these guys just get me. It's an emotional decision, not intellectual.
I would love for everyone to feel like we got them. How do we do that?
Okay, so let's just say your first meeting with your leads are on Zoom. Okay, I'm making this up. Let's assume it is, okay? They show up on Zoom. Obviously, first thing you say to them is, nice to meet you as well, but no more chit-chat after that. No more, hey, great, how'd you hear about us? What brings you in? None of that sales stuff, okay? It's got to go. Like the doctor, when you see a doctor, first thing it says is, where does it hurt, right? But this process has a little bit more bedside manner and empathy. So, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well, Seth. Here's the first thing you say. If it's okay with you, John, if you wouldn't mind, take a step back for a moment. Walk me through your background, your situation, up to your current business growth concerns, and we'll go from there. Would that be okay with you? Take your fingers like this, put it over your mouth like a therapist, sit back on the chair, and go like that. Show them it's not about you today. You're not going to talk. It's about them. That's what they want to do. They want to open up to you. We don't let them sometimes. Now, the key phrase is your current business problems, concerns. That takes their brain right to their problem. Then they start to unpack their problem with you. Now, the instinct as an expert, when you hear someone's problem, if you heard it 100 times, in the back of your brain is to go, what?
I know how to solve that.
Exactly. I got that. I heard this 100 times, no problem. So we quickly qualify them, and off we go to the races. And there's no trust being built at all. The trust is being built by you, what I call going down the iceberg with them, staying inside their world long enough to when they say to you, how can you help me, Seth? You get me. So the way you do that is this. So they explain their problem. Rather than try and solve it in your mind, you listen and you crystallize the core issue and you say, so what I'm hearing from you is your core problem is X, Y, and Z. Is that right? Guy goes, exactly. Next question. How long have you been concerned about this for? Next question. What have you done so far on your own to try and resolve this? Now, the middle layer is called cost of inaction, COI, helping them identify the losses or impact and risk of not solving the problem. You're reverse engineering the problem and helping them see the context of what's it costing them not to fix it. This is the opposite of people taught to sell. We're taught to show value, show solutions, flex. But here what we're doing is helping them understand and dimensionalize the impact of their problem if they don't solve it. So that's how you use phrases like this. Have you thought about? Have you considered? Are you aware about the impact it's costing you every month by not having this plugged up? Have you calculated that? No, I haven't. Let's talk about it. So you got to be comfortable doing a deep dive inside their world. As long as you can, stay in there. And I've got this process I created that allows you to do that.
That is absolutely awesome. Tell us about the process.
Okay, so we're in it right now. So there's two pieces of the puzzle. First is the iceberg. If you look at the iceberg, see what most experts do is they ask you a few questions on top of the iceberg. They size somebody up and they go, boom, let's go. They don't go low enough the iceberg, but that's where the trust is, down here. So by spending time with these questions, unraveling their world, helping them see the severity and the seriousness of their problem and the cost of the problem. You're helping them build a business case for your fee to hire you. They're not hiring you on your value, I promise you, because they can't judge your value or efficacy until after they're a client, not before they're a client. It's impossible. So all you've got to do first is build enough trust in them at a very deep level where they're saying to themselves, man, this guy is not trying to sell me anything. He's just trying to help me understand me and my situation. I like this person. Their decision to hire you is emotional, not intellectual. Whenever you do free consulting or give them information, it goes in one ear, out the other ear. In fact, the more you educate them, the worse, because then they got to go think about it and they got to delay the decision. Now, this sounds very contrary to how we've been taught to do things. I know that. We're taught to over-deliver, provide education, and show them our expertise. All that is wrong in this new economy. You've been commoditized, game over. You attempt to convince them of your expertise is the worst thing you can do. They assume you can do the job. They showed up. They saw your LinkedIn profile. You look professional. They're not questioning your efficacy. The only question they have is, can I trust him?
That is absolutely incredible. So how does this change when you get to the point where you would be, let's say, presenting your proposal for solutions? Does it change that?
No, okay. So there's some pieces we have to build in prior to that to get to that point. So I'll take you through this. So basically, the first piece of the one call sale is the iceberg, which I gave you a sample of the questions to ask. And the last question you ask is this one. Before you move forward, you say, is this a priority for you? To address and resolve once and for all. So you can fix this and get your business back on track again. And I'm okay if it's not, by the way. See, it's not a trapping question to a yes. It's a, hey, it's your problem, not mine. Is this a priority for you or not, John? Burden's on them to own the problem first. Otherwise, they're not going to want to fix it, I promise you. So the guy says to you, yeah, it's a priority, Seth. Obviously, you've helped me understand this is a serious problem. Then you say, may I walk you through our roadmap and process for how you work from here? Would that be okay with you, John?
Yes.
You're always asking questions along the way. You're never inserting information or trying to take a step ahead. Now, the next step is not your services, not how much you charge, not a proposal. It's too premature, the trust building process. The next piece is called a roadmap. It's a visual tool you're going to create. So we do it for our clients that shows them visually what your process is to solve their problem. It's a meta step before the solution. It's your methodology for how you work, right? Like you might have phase 1, discovery phase. Phase 2, proposal. Phase 3 is meeting with decision makers. Phase 4 is decision. Phase 5 is onboarding. I don't know what your process is, but everyone's got a process somewhere. But what most experts do, you know what they do is they explain it verbally. They say, here's how we work. We'll send a proposal. We'll meet on Friday. We'll talk about, and they go, and they're like, and at the end they go, I want to think about it. It's too complicated verbally and audibly to give that information to someone who's still trying to size you up. Instead, what you do is you put it into a visual format. When they see it, they believe it. When they hear it, they don't believe you. It's the weirdest thing. If you lay it out into a simple format like that, they need that to trust you. They need to know you're not going to drop the ball. And by them seeing your process visually, they can see that you have a hard and fast system that's unbreakable. They got to buy your process first before they're going to buy your next steps in your model. Everyone misses this whole piece in the front end where they get stuck chasing ghosts, having a long sales cycle, following up with people on the phone. Hi, I'm just giving you a call back from proposal we sent you. What's going on? They're like, oh, here you are on that cycle.
I've got lots of notes, even though I was supposed to be paying 100% attention. I couldn't help myself. This is absolutely incredible. How do our folks watching or listening learn more? How do we get more from the world of Ari to learn how to implement this new style of trust building into our businesses?
I've laid this out in a new book called Trust in a Split Second, and is available complimentary at thetrustbook.com. You go to thetrustbook.com. You can order my book for free there. It's not digital. It's in the mail, and it'll come to you in a box with a stamp on it. And along with that comes a complimentary consultation to sit down, have a chat with you or my team to unpack your situation, look at your conveyor belt system and identify where the breakpoints are, and give you insights along the way. So you have that insight plus the book in the mail. That's the best place to start with us.
That is awesome and a very generous offer. We greatly appreciate that. We will send everyone to thetrustbook.com. I will have mine ordered before we're done. So that's what's changed in the world of the way people are buying and the way business owners and sales professionals communicate. Tell me about your personal life, because, how's the wife? How's Toby? How's everybody doing?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, some of you may know who are listening from back then. I wrote a book called Lessons from Toby about my son who has Down syndrome. He is amazing. He's 21 years old now. He's very independent, very mainstream, and he's so inspirational. He wants to achieve as much as he can achieve in his life, and he's amazing. Thank you for asking. The kids are well. Michelle's well. And for those you don't know, I live in Sydney, Australia. I'm actually in LA today, Seth. I'm invited by UCLA. I'm speaking at their business school this weekend at their CEO conference. So that's why I'm here in LA this week and do a lot more speaking and touring coming up soon.
That is absolutely incredible. We greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. This has been Seth Greene with Ari Galper from thetrustbook.com. Ari, thanks again for coming back.
Appreciate it.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.